here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream where I'm going to talk about the Linux Game Jam that I just took part in. I actually submitted the project today. I'm actually going to check my audio. For some reason, the stream does not want to load, and I don't know why that is. Like, I want to know how my mic is compared to it is doing pretty well. But no, I'm gonna put it in air quotes because it was a work in progress and it's not done. It is completed. However, I might do a day of debugging and development on Twitch here in the next few days. The game is not complete. It's got a myriad of issues, and a lot of it is my knowledge of the language itself is not all that great. I will say, first of all, I haven't touched C++ in a major capacity in terms of development in a long time. I would roughly say about a year and a half, 2 years, because I was working on a text adventure game, which this game is based off of that idea, but it didn't work. I might see if I can recreate it in C# or something. Because it was just a mess. Honestly, I'm not pleased with it. Like, I'm more pleased with the last game jam I actually did, which had an even lazier game be put out. It was not fun. Like, there's a myriad of issues, and I'm going to probably showcase this on the Unknown Gaming Podcast, which will be recorded on Saturday over on the GI Live Twitch. The reason it's going to be showcased then is because I'll probably talk a little more in depth. So I did actually log some of the issues that I had while using the C++ language. Switches don't work the way they do in C or C#. So in C# you can take a string and you can take a variable and use that as a switch. You can use that in a switch. It can be a string, an int, bool. Well, I haven't tested bools, but a string and an int, right? So people say, well, what's the big deal? In C++, you cannot use a string you can't use a string in your switch statements because switches act as go-tos. And to be honest with you, I will say switches to me make the code look cleaner if used effectively. My code gets a little hard to follow with the amount of stuff that I have to try and read through. With that being said, though, I will provide an update. Tomorrow, I'm going to be working on Win32 or Windows versions of these games so that everybody has a chance to play them and not just Linux users. I have done more in terms of apps in C++ at the moment, and they're fairly simple. I did a mileage calculator. You guess a single number for 10 rounds, and you're given a hint. That's a game. And that's the thing too, like, I wanted to branch out and try something new. that's about all you can do, is try and learn from it. Even my last commit, the demo version that is live, the actual commit note is feature incomplete. I will continue to work on the game. I'm not going to give you a timetable. I'm not going to give you anything until I can get these bugs figured out. And it's going to be a while for sure, because it gets stuck in the handle travel function. So it will say, do you want to leave or keep moving? And in case 2, it will just say, okay, I'm just reorganizing my code here. So what it's supposed to do, or what it should do when you enter case number 2 for the handle traveling, or handle travel, and you leave the town, it's supposed to leave the town and then you would say, then you would, basically prompt, start the cycle over. But, but then you would have to prompt. I think that might have been an issue. Hold on, let me make a comment of this. Create prompt for user. To gather required inputs. I'm just making a quick comment so I don't forget. I had a lot of test code that just checks to see if the code is being run, which was never run. So if you go and do, go to tavern and then you go to 2, you would, hit, you would do a case for 1, which would have been a tavern, and you would have said, who do you want to ask? And then you would do another switch, or, something like that, because that's just an easy way to make, it might be lazy, but when you have issues with the inline, so in C++, your input is gathered by using the standard namespace with a double colon cin, which only takes in the first word until you see until it hits a space or any white space, which is what I was going to talk about. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast or just in general, but it is out there to play. I'm going to be doing a bunch of tweaks and actually getting to the end of the game, because I've said my goal is to have a vertical slice. It's not going to be any good, but that's because I'm learning, or in my case, relearning the basics of C++. Because I really haven't touched the language in a full capacity in about 2 years. I still like C++ as a language. Its syntax, to me, is unique. And for people that say, well, what's unique about it? You use angle brackets to indicate output and input. compared to like console.write or system.out.println or system. My phone just went off. Let me guess. It is 63. So in order to keep me from dropping, NASCAR went live with the NASCAR series, which okie dokie. I mean, that's I don't really watch the NASCAR series, so no. Yeah, that was the one thing that I remember was like, okay, I'm going to, have a Win32 release. And for people that are like, well, why don't you just call it Windows? I do call it Windows. I just refer to it as Win32 because if you're using VS Code, it will have the platform that you are on. In the, I believe it's the lower right-hand corner. It'll have the line and column, indentation, encoding, end of line sequence, language, and the configuration, which would be, Unix, Linux. Well, it's Linux. I'm pretty sure if you're on Mac, it'll say Unix because Mac and Linux are both Unix based. Yet I have no way to test the theory that a former coworker of mine had that you could run Linux apps, or he was like, "Can you run Linux apps on Mac?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I can't test it." So, I met the requirements of the build or of the jam, which was basically. Do you have, a fuck? My words are gone. So it's like basically the requirements were, have a Unix or a Linux build, credit any assets you may use, which I didn't use any. And honestly, I worked a lot on this in the last few days. Like, a lot of the commits probably came on the 20th. Yeah, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which a lot of them were delete because I added in like the wrong. I added in the source code without actually going into the directory, because it has the directory because I didn't just like put it in a projects folder. In fact, my actual thing was I had the Linux native jam, and then I did a subdirectory called source code, which of course, basically has every bit of source code and even the unused files. There was going to be a lot of stuff added, but I just had no idea how C++ classes worked, and I wasn't confident enough on my shaky understanding of the language as it is. But I am going through, and I am going to continue to learn and improve. Something I could do better with this project was not go into a project with a language that you yourself haven't touched, since you were in college on a full-on basis. Like, even in the other text adventure game that I was working on that used this same premise, I don't think I had classes. And I'm probably going to end up using like, I've got a few header files, but I'm actually going to continue working on this and basically go through and relearn everything. for people that are like, you went to college for software engineering, but you don't remember certain things about languages, I will say I lost it for the most part. Like, Java classes I knew how to set up. I know how to set up Java classes. I know how to set up C# classes. I don't know how to set up C++ classes. And to be honest, I'm probably going to have to go through and relearn everything, which I might just put my phone on silent. Steel Toe Show is now live. It's Steel Toe Evening Show. Well, I'll tune in a little late tonight because I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm kind of busy right now, even though I do love the Steel Toe Show. They are a really good channel, and they used to be on radio. But back to the Linux Native Gym. I will be working on the game, and I will be, putting out like bug fixes and stuff from now on, and I will actually be looking to finish the game. Maze Escape is another project that I'm working on that I'm not confident in. But then again, I would have to download the source code and try and get it working. So, yeah, we're gonna try that. And yeah, this is gonna be a fairly short video, clocking in at roughly about 20 minutes. The game is out there, and I'm going to be working on a Windows version because I know not everybody uses Linux, not everybody uses Windows, and not everybody uses Mac. But I have to be able to develop and release stuff on the platforms that I have available to me, which in this case is Linux, Linux in general. I did not develop for specific distros like Debian or Red Hat, or what are some other, I didn't do it's escaping me, distro specific platforms. I have a Tarball, which is it's basically, I would say it's the equivalent of .zip, but you can have .zip in Linux, but it's one of those things. So do keep an eye for updates from me, either on the podcast or on this channel in general, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye!